Hi guys, this is how to play More Than a Feeling by Boston, one of the greatest acoustic guitar intros of all time. It does work on electric as well, but it sounds particularly sweet on an acoustic. We don't need a capo, we're basically using standard open chords. We're going to be covering the opening riff and the intro into the chorus as well. So the chorus would sound best done on electric guitar because we're using power chords. But it will also all work on acoustic guitar if you want to follow me. Great for beginners wanting to improve their picking hand and take on some more improver intermediate level stuff. Let's get you in for a close-up and check out how to play More Than a Feeling. So the first chord in More Than a Feeling is a D sus4, played like this. If you've not covered sus2s and sus4s before, I suggest you check out this video of mine on sus4s before taking this one on. But quickly after that we go back to a standard D chord, and I'm just going to walk you through the chords of the song first of all. D sus4 to a normal D chord, both strummed or picked eventually from string 4, from the D root note. Then we're going to go to a C add 9 from the C root note on string 5. Everything ringing out. And then a G/B, so this is a standard G chord, but we're not playing the thickest string. So we take off our middle finger and we play from string 5, from the B root note. So it's a G chord /B, because we have B in the root. And then we just play the G chord by adding that middle finger back down where it would go on a G. One more time through each of those chords. D sus4 to a normal D chord, C add 9, C/B, and a G chord. Now let me just demo the riff dead slow so that you guys can get a feel for what we're going to be going for in this lesson. 2, 3, 4. So we start off by having our fingers down for the D sus4 chord, and we pick string 4, the D root note, string 2, string 3, and then string 1, the thinnest. And it is best to do that with a down, up picking motion. When I'm picking these, I have my wrist, technique-wise, resting on the thickest string and the top of the guitar here, which is a very electric guitar single note picking kind of technique. So some people will agree with that, some people will disagree. I think that's the best way to be most accurate with these arpeggio patterns where we're picking single notes out of chords. From there, the next 4 notes, we pick string 3 again, and then 1, 2, 3. So we pick 3 on its own, and then string 1, 2, 3. And that's our first bar. And if we pick those last 4 notes on a down, up, we will be using something called directional picking, which is a very intermediate to advanced technique, but it's quite simple to explain. We're just picking in the direction of the next string that we're going to hit. So after string 1, the next note is below that, so I picked it with a down. And then we pick the next note with an up, because we're coming back on ourselves to string 3, and then an up on string 1. Down, up, And that's the first half of this riff in the tab. So let me just demo that one more time, just dead slow. 2, 3, 4. One more. 2, 3, 4. Then after that, we have our C add 9 chord, which we play string 5, and then the thinner 2 strings, 1, then 2. Last time. Then we play the G/B chord, so I've just got my fingers here, 1, 2, 3, and we again pick string 5, 1, 2. So we've gone from the C add 9 to the G/B. And then we just need to pick the thickest string when we go to the G chord and string 2. So the second half of this tab. One last time. And the whole thing nice and slow. So this can be a very tricky riff if you're new to picking single strings. So another song that I'd really recommend if you're kind of struggling to get this one up to speed or changing between the chords is Wake Me Up When September Ends, I should say, by Green Day. I've got that lesson here, and that is more incremental and you have some pauses in the picking hand, but it is essentially very similar with picking some single strings. I would recommend doing that one first if you haven't done any single string playing before. After that, when you come back to this one, it's just a case of building your speed with it. I have to say, from the chord hand point of view, I am pressing on definitely harder than I would if I was just strumming normal open chords, just to make sure everything rings out. I'm placing my fingers really carefully at this side of the fret rather than here, just to make sure I don't get any dud strings. That is definitely advantageous for this single string arpeggio playing. So at the end of that verse we have the line, I close my eyes and I slip away. That's where we change, that's where we go into a different section and this riff stops being in a loop. So for that section we start off normal for the first bar, but the next 2 bars are very different. So we have the C add 9, but we're going to lift off our little finger and play string 5, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. And then we need that same pattern, but with a G/B as follows. Same picking pattern, so. And those two together. And together with the riff, so we've looped the riff many times. And we go into that section that we've just learnt. From there we just have a few simple open chords and then we're on to the chorus with our power chords. So we just need an A minor and then a G chord, which we're picking the root note of our chord, the next string down, and doing a strum, root note, next note down, strum, and then the D chord, all with 8 strumming. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we're into our chorus. One more time, let me demo this. So here we play the chorus, which is a G power chord, first, third and little finger, and it's down, up, down, down. This would sound great on electric guitar, but it also works on acoustic. C power chord, down a string, sliding up to 7th fret, so we're going to play an E power chord, down, 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 and then slide into a D power chord at 5th fret to finish off. Down, 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 C, C, E, 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 D, D. Now the trick with changing between these power chords well, after you've learned the positions of them, is to slide and not ever lift any finger off of a string. You've got to keep your fingers placed on the strings themselves in this power chord shape that you make with your hand, but you relax your fingers so that they're not pressing down to the fretboard. So I'm pressed down on the G to play the G power chord, down, 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 and then I mute and I relax my fingers, so even if I didn't mute, nothing's going to ring out anyway, and I slide down the strings to play the C chord. And then I slide up the neck, staying on each individual string, to 7th fret, down, up, down, down, and then to D, D, never lifting off at any point. If I show you from this angle. At no point do I lift off and do this. To recap, we had 3rd fret, thickest string, it's a G, C, sliding to 7th fret, and then back to D. Notice that this first finger is pretty flat. I'm almost barring all the strings, but I'm not touching to the wood. We've only got string 5 ringing out. I'm touching the thickest string here, so that's muted, and all the other strings underneath it are muted because my thumb is directly behind where my first finger is. So that I can have that first finger very flat, the other fingers are far more curved, and we can play this, I think that's the best angle, we can play this riff without really moving our fingers at all. I'm moving my hand and my arm, I'm moving up and down the neck, I'm not moving the shape of the fingers themselves. When I hear the old song, we can do this section of the song with open chords if you wish. It is a G chord, C add 9, E minor, D, D. On acoustic, that does certainly ring out an awful lot more if you're just doing an acoustic version of this song. G, 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 C, C, D. Notice the periods of silence where you have to stick the outside of your hand down over the sound hole to get silence. And this continues, say we're doing it with power chords, for 3 times until I hear Marianne walk away. And that is a 6th fret power chord. So G, G, C, C, 6th fret power chord. And then we go to an E minor chord and we do, this is such a cool sound and so easy to do. It's an upward strum on beat 1. I love that sound. Walking away. So there, for that section, to get us back into the riff again, we do an upward strum of the E minor. It's E minor for a bar, A major, sus4 to a normal A major. So A sus4 to an A major. I'm doing the 3 in a line version of an A just so you can see more clearly, but this way of playing an A would be totally cool as well. Walking into G. And then we have this little step down from a G chord, G slash F sharp to E minor, and then we're back to the riff again. So that is all sections for the vast majority of this song from a rhythm guitar point of view. If you want to know the solo and everything like that, let me know in the comments below, and if this video generates enough views and enough interest from people, I will teach you all the other sections as well. Remember, the tab is down in the link in the description so that you can follow this song and work through it a bit more methodically and come back to it over the next few days. And the song is embedded on my website as well. Link down in the description. Please subscribe if you like what I do, and I will see you in another one of these arpeggio style guitar lessons where we're playing single strings out of a chord. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye for now.